Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, we'd like to thank everybody for coming in. We got some visitors tonight, so that's good. Appreciate everyone coming in. Will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bachman?
Here.
Henning?
Here.
Gorman?
Here.
Merkel?
Here.
Kelly?
Here.
Lieberman? And Stevens.
Here.
I make a motion, we excuse Kevin Kenny and Dennis. Kenny just had a baby and Dennis is out of town.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gorman to excuse Councilman Henning and Councilman Lieberman. We knew they were both going to be absent. Well, we didn't know so much about Kenny having the baby, but afterwards we knew he wouldn't be here. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we do have a special presentation tonight, and it's a proclamation that I'm going to read. Okay, first I want to give kudos to Councilman Henning, who had reached out to an organization, and I don't know if he talked to you or did he talk to someone else at the organization. Okay, and he brought back a piece of information that, as a council, we feel like this is very noteworthy event for us for the month of April. From our city, it shows that we continue to promote and celebrate diversity, that we welcome all nationality. Celebrate that. So I'm going to read this proclamation. For over a century, Arab Americans have been making valuable contributions to virtually every aspect of American society in medicine, law, business, education, technology, government, military service, and culture. Since migrating to America, men and women of Arab descent have shared their rich culture and traditions with neighbors and friends, while also setting fine examples of model citizens and public servants. They brought with them to America their resilient family values, strong work ethic, dedication to education, and diversity in faith and creed that have added strength to our great democracy. Arab Americans have also enriched our society by sharing in the entrepreneurial American spirit that makes our nation free and prosperous. The history of Arab Americans in the United States remains neglected or defaced by misconceptions, bigotry, and anti-Arab hate in the forms of crimes and speech. Arab American issues such as civil rights abuses, harmful stereotyping, and bullying must be combated in the forms of education and awareness. They join all Americans in the desire to see a peaceful and diverse society where every individual is treated equally and feels safe. The incredible contributions and heritage of American Arabs have helped us build a better nation. I, Mike Stevens, Mayor of the City of Clayton, Ohio, announced that Arab American Foundation celebrates the contributions Arab Americans have made to our society and do by declare April 2023 to be National Arab American Heritage Month by the City of Clayton. We encourage our citizens to join us in this special observance. I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Clayton, Ohio, to be affixed this 20th day of April 2023. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm so happy you're here. Yeah. And if you'll, and hopefully you'll share that. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Okay. Thanks again for coming to accept that, and hopefully you share that within the rest of your community. And we'll move to the next agenda, which is the clerk's report.
We have first before you the work session minutes of April 6, 2023.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve as written by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Bachman. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let the record show that's unanimous.
And you also have before you the council meeting minutes of April 6, 2023.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve as written by Mr. Gorman, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let the record show that that is unanimous also. The next item on our agenda is old business. Sorry, will you read the ordinance, please?
Ordinance O03-2306, an ordinance adopting the Planning Commission's recommendation to approve with specified condition the application for Hunter's Path Section 2 plat approval in the Hunter's Path subdivision and bearing parcel ID number M60-03207-0022.
Is there any discussion or questions on this ordinance? We talked about this last week, so it's a second reading.
Yeah, I just have one question. I noticed on the plat that we haven't received yet, because they took it back to make revisions in it, because the staff asked them to have 60-foot lots.
That's a different project.
I understand that.
Oh, okay.
But in this plat, 80% of them are 50-foot lots, or under 60-foot lots.
That's what was approved by City Council. So the plat before you tonight, and that was approved at the first reading, is exactly the same as what was approved by City Council.
I mean, approved what we did last meeting.
Correct. Yeah, correct. The plat before you tonight hasn't been changed at all. There was no recommendations for it to be changed.
No, that's a different plat, I understand. But we want 60-foot lots up there, but this one has 80% of the lots are under 60 foot.
That's what was approved by City Council.
I mean, why did staff recommend one and not the other, Jack?
Staff didn't make that recommendation on the 60-foot lots on the other project. Planning Commission made that recommendation.
I thought the letter or the email we got said staff made it.
No, staff made the recommendation that they go back and change the plat before it comes to city council with planning commission's recommendation.
So that you guys could see what that layout would look like, so that it was an accurate portrayal of what Planning Commission approved.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other questions or comments on this? Is there a motion?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve as written by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Merkel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Abstain.
We call the roll, please.
Bachman?
Abstain.
Gorman?
Yes?
Merkel?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
And Stevens.
Yes. And let the record show that that was unanimous with one abstention. And our next items are new business. Will you read the first resolution, please?
Resolution R04-2333, a resolution appointing Misty McDowell to the Parks Advisory Commission.
I move to approve Misty McDowell for the Parks Commission.
Second.
Motion to approve Ms. McDowell for the Parks Commission by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Merkel. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let the record show that was unanimous. And will you read the second resolution, please?
Resolution R04-2334, a resolution appointing Christina Miller to the Parks Advisory Commission.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve Ms. Miller to the Parks Commission by Mr. Gorman, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Let the record show that that is unanimous also. And will you read the third and final resolution, please?
Resolution 2024-2335. A resolution authorizing the city manager to accept the proposal of Elevated Roofing and Siding, LLC, in the amount of $114,790.66, and enter into a contract with Elevated Roofing and Siding, LLC, for the 2023 Clayton CDBG Westbrook Park ADA restroom renovation project.
Mr. Coons?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. So this is a pretty exciting project. We've talked about in previous meetings. It's a project that's actually probably been on a desired list for over 15 years since it first closed. The restroom facilities at Westbrook Park have been closed for several years now. As I alluded to, 15 years. We've tried to get various grants over the years to make renovations at the restroom facilities to get them back open and available to the public at large. After several tries, we did receive a transfer of grant funds for this particular project at Westbrook Park. The city of Clayton also is doing a local match using ARPA funds. The project actually went out to bid a couple months ago. We had a pre-bid meeting, had 2 contractors come in. At the time of the bid opening, no contractors actually put in sealed bids for the project. Staff got back with Montgomery County. They said since we went through the bid process and all the legal requirements, we could then solicit estimates from 2 to 3 companies. We did go out, asked 3 companies to submit estimates for the particular project, gave them a deadline of the end of March. At that time, we received 1 estimate from Elevated Roofing. They did come in at $114,790.66, which is actually below the original cost estimate that staff put together last year. So we came in under estimate, and we're very excited to move forward with that particular project. Elevate is also a local company, so that's always a good thing as well.
They're a Clayton company?
Yes.
Any questions or comments about this?
I think they're a wonderful company, Clayton-based, and they do great work.
Great.
I'll
Is there a
move for
motion?
approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion to approve the resolution as written by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Bachman. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let the record show that was unanimous also. Okay, so the next item on our agenda is our city manager's report. Ms. Zimmerman?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. A few items for you this evening. One, I want to remind everyone that Park Cleanup Day is Saturday, April 29th from 10 a.m. to 12. You can meet park board members in any of the parks. Trash bags, gloves will be available, and everyone can help make Clayton beautiful. A couple items of good news. The Finance Department, again, was awarded the GFOA Award. This is the 18th year for the award, and it's Kevin's 15th year. And then the PD also was awarded the Gold Award from Lexipol for Excellence in Law Enforcement Policy Management for 2022, and this is their 3rd year winning that award, or receiving that award. We do have attached to the city manager's report the ward study update. Council does need to take action on that by July 1st. So if you want to defer that discussion until we have a full council here, we can defer that to the next meeting if you'd prefer. Okay. And then again, the Salary Commission made their recommendation, but I don't know if that's another discussion you want to defer until we have a full council here, or if you want to take that discussion up now.
I think we should discuss that with full council.
So just as a bit of information, the Meadowbrook awning, we've had it for several years. It came with the building. We got it in 2015, and when we went to put it up this year, we discovered that it had dry rotted. So we did need to purchase a new awning for the golfers patio for Meadowbrook. I just wanted to give you an update on that. I think that if it's not installed already, it should be very soon, so we can make use of the golfers patio. So murals project, we've been working, the development department has been working very closely with Northmont City Schools and their art department. They did the banners that are going to be hanging up along Main Street, and they've also volunteered to do a mural at Hardscrabble Park along the restroom there. So they're going to start that in the fall, and then they're going to do a mural at Meadowbrook on the pickleball courts in the spring. We did have a request. This is an interesting one. So if you'll recall, back in October of 2022, a property owner in Inglewood wanted to develop 28 acres that abut I-70 and that's accessible from Taylorsburg Road off of Taywood. The city denied their request to have the street connect into Elrue because all it was going to do was cause Elrue to become a through street to Main Street. That same property owner came into the city building last week and requested that I make the request to city council if you were interested in a voluntary annexation where they would annex into the city of Clayton and then they could develop the parcel. I think that if they do that, there is county water there, so they would have access to that. But I think that they would then run into the exact same problem with the city of Inglewood where they wouldn't be allowed to access Taylorsburg Road. But that is for council to decide. I told him that I would come back to him and give him what council thought they would like to do. If you'd like to think on it longer, that's also fine.
You can tell them that one of the council members knows full well how Englewood got that into Englewood instead of Randolph Township. And that's because they made us annex the first 16 lots of Savannah Hills into Englewood. And to do that, we had to get the neighbor to annex because you can't annex an island. And that's why this ground was annexed to Englewood in the first place. And I think if we run all those people down Hillgrove, it will become a mess. Staff decided when Englewood wanted to let them do it.
And I don't disagree at all with Mr. Gorman. Again, I think that's probably a discussion we have with the full council. Anyone feel different about that? I'd rather get Dennis and
Sure.
Kenny's input also.
Okay. At the last meeting, Member Henning asked that I have Representative Creech and Plummer come to City Council to discuss House Bill 1 and what effect it would have on the city. House Bill 1, as it's drafted, as it was previously drafted, is dead, but they're definitely going to come back with something else. Representatives Creech and Plummer will be here on May 18th to discuss that with council. This is probably something else that council wants to wait until there's a full party here. Member Lieberman requested a discussion on beginning a committee between the cities of Clayton, Inglewood, and Union to discuss other ways to continue to cooperate and share services. Do you want to defer that too until the next meeting, until we have everyone here?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
We can think about it until then, though.
Sure, absolutely. And then trash receptacle placement. So Law Director Dillon had drafted legislation amending Section 1313.08 of Chapter 1313 of the Codified Ordinances. The draft legislation was attached. In that draft legislation, it allows the city manager to, if the resident has a doctor's note, which would also provide them with carryout service from Republic, to then waive the requirement that the trash receptacles be placed behind the front of the house, so they could leave it in front of the garage. So I'm looking for direction from council if you want to amend that, if you want to bring that on the actual agenda for a vote next meeting.
Well, again, I'd like input from especially since Mr. Henning is the one who initiated it, I'd like to get their input. I mean, I don't know, I think, would we be ready to vote without a further discussion by next meeting? We definitely
we
need to have
should.
the discussion.
Yeah,
But we could put it on the agenda for next meeting for a vote.
I agree.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's all I have for you this evening, unless you have any questions for me.
Any comments or questions for the city manager? Okay, thank you. Good job. The next item is visitors' comments. We have some visitors. Does anybody want to make any comments? No? Sure? Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming anyway. Earl, any comments? You're not really a visitor, but yeah. Okay.
It's got you 2 new members to your committee, and you want us to still come and do it? Okay, Earl, I'm only kidding.
All right, thank you, sir, and thanks for your continued work with the parks. We'll go with the council comments. Tina, we'll start with you.
I just want to congratulate Kenny and Natalie for bringing in the world baby Henry yesterday at 1:30 a.m., and he's adorable. Other than that, that's it.
Mr. Merkel?
I guess I also will congratulate Kenny on his new arrival and congratulate his wife who's going through the pains of labor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gorman?
I too would like to congratulate Kenny and Natalie on the new one and hope everything is going well for baby and mama both.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bachman?
I'll echo what everyone said. Obviously, Councilman Hayden isn't here, so I'm sure a lot more congrats next time. But to him and Natalie become really good friends, almost family to me. So wonderful to see their family expand with was it Henry Harbor Henning, Triple H. It's like the pro wrestler. I just realized that. I don't think Kenny's a pro wrestler fan though. Just a coincidence. Also, just make note of the recent awards to the finance department and the fire department. For us, it's kind of the standard of just, of really all of our staff and everything here, of just coming in and doing your job as well as possible. Even with those awards, we know that all of you will just continue to, to make improvements, make the city great. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. So I only have a couple words. I want to say congratulations to Kenny and Natalie also. I'm so happy for them. It sounds like, everything went really well, and I'm happy and excited to see little Henry. So I'm sure he'll bring him in like he always does. I also want to say congratulations to the city manager and to our finance department and to Chief Hamlin. Those are real large accolades, and hopefully we can get that out, communicated out to our residents. I think sometimes in the midst of everything else, I think we don't realize how good we have things here in Clayton. I mean, these folks are really doing well, and they're excelling at their profession. And it's not us saying it so much; we say it all the time. But it's statewide organizations that are recognizing these folks. So I'm just real proud of them, and it just shows that I think we've been able to continue to run a good show, a clean show, a solid show, and I'm just really proud of them for what they, and you too, Amanda, for running our city that way. So other than that, I just want to say thanks to all of our staff. You guys continue to do a great job. And thanks to our council. You guys continue to do a great job also making our city better. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Bachman. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.